Hello YouTube world, Mac Daddy 1911 A1 here with the Shade Tree Survivalist. Rocking that Scout today, that Squad Scout. Yesterday, or well, I guess it'd be this morning, I published a video on the butt plate that I installed. And this is the GI all steel butt plate with the folding piece here to help you when you're prone shooting. But one of the big things about it, it has the little trap door, the little hatch as I like to call it, because it does. It looks very similar to a hatch on a warship or something of that nature. And what it was designed for, ladies and gentlemen, as I've stated to you guys, is for the tools and the cleaning rod and so forth that would have come with the rifle. Biggest thing is this GI cleaning, or this GI tool right here. Now this is a multi-purpose tool. Give you guys a good close-up of it. Okay, has a 3/8 inch wrench head right here. It has a screwdriver right here on the edge right there. Let me see if the camera will focus. Okay, and this thing here is designed to take the bolt apart. I would not use this. I just wouldn't. It's not that safe. I mean, that damn plunger for the ejector comes out of there. It go right through it, straight through your damn eyeball. It's designed to take the gas plug out of the rifle, as well as it is the T-handle. If you can see that, it's the T-handle for the GI cleaning rod. I wouldn't use that either. That's a steel rod inside the barrel, and you're bound to do damage with it. It is also what the bore brush, and this is the ratcheting bore brush that is designed for the M1, M14 and M1 Garand. And if you've got it in the stock, it sits right in there like that, and then it goes into one of those two holes in the rear of the stock. You need a section of the GI cleaning rod because that becomes the handle of this baby. And I've got it in the wrong damn hole, I think. Yes, I do. This one here. It's supposed to screw into one of these damn holes. There we go. Okay, and okay, with the chamber open. Okay, you can see down through there. You take it, you insert it into the chamber, and you press. What I always do is I press in on it like that. Simple little design, works really well, and simple little ratcheting design. Let me see if I can work it back out of there. But if you're going to be an M1A or M14 owner, you need to buy one of these. You ought to get the entire kit, even though you're not going to use the entire rod. I mean, if you want to carry that extra weight into the stock, that's cool, that's fine. An Otis cleaning kit would do a much better job on the bore and so forth, and it's lightweight. It will not mar up or damage your rifling, but you will not get the chamber, and the chamber has to be clean. Even if the bore is fouled a little bit, or even a lot, that's one thing, but if the chamber is fouled out real bad, it will tend to stick. Okay, y'all seen that on Betsy a few times, which I'm actually thinking that I didn't trim the cases back on the reloads I was using, and they were a little long, and when it fired, and it fire formed the case to the inside dimensions of the chamber, it was a little overlong, so it was pressing back on the bolt, and it was not allowing it to be easily ejected, and the rifle didn't have, the gas pressure wasn't enough to overcome that. That's the first and second tool, multi-tool, the chamber brush. The third tool, essential for an M14, M1A type rifle, or even an M1 Garand, but, well, M14, M1A, that will be this tool right here. This is the satellite versions of the gas system wrench, and what it does is it allows you to slide this thing down on your gas cylinder here and hold the rifle, so you can use either a 3/8 inch wrench or your GI multi-tool to put on that plug And buddy, that dude had it on there tight now. I don't think I've ever had mine that damn tight. Let's see if I can get this thing back on there. That's the problem with this short barrel. Good night. Let's see, if you didn't have this wrench, you couldn't put that much force on there. There is no freaking way. There we go. And I put it on after I took this out of the damn way. There's no way you're gonna hold that. None. I'm here to tell you. I get the damn thing that the base of that flash suppressor is in the damn way, but anywho, I got it on there. Now I can use my hands. Now, by golly, I broke her loose. But yeah, the multi-tool is hitting the bottom of the freaking gas cylinder, or the muzzle brake. So a regular wrench would actually be better in this particular instance. Yes, sir. Learn something new every damn day, don't we? Good thing I keep a damn 3/8 inch wrench in my damn cleaning, in my backpack also. Having that redundant capability is a good idea, ladies and gents. So now that I got it broke free, I can move it way over here and turn it a quarter turn. Boy, that dude's tight. But that's one thing you do not want to fall out in combat. Once you pull that out, your gas system would just flop around. It wouldn't do you no damn good. It would not operate any way, shape, or form. Man, that dude's tight. I wonder if this guy ever took this thing apart. I ought to have my butt kicked for not taking it apart since I've had it. There is a little bit of carbon falling out. No. Let us see with one of our other. Let me see, I think. Okay, here's the plug. This is Sadlac Industries gas plug, gas cylinder plug, and drill. Drill size is O. Also, it's 0.316. So 316. Anyway, you know what I mean. 0.316. You just take that thing, run it in your cylinder. Look at all that carbon that fell out. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but I sure saw it. So I got that clean. Now let's see if the piston slides right out like it should. Indeed it did. It's not that dirty. It's not that dirty. Not at all. You see that? That's the piston. And you need 2 drills for it. The skinny one goes all the way down in there. All the way to the bottom till it stops, and then just turn it as you're working it back out. And that's what I got out of it. It's not too bad. Carbon buildup, not too bad at all. Remember, you don't want to scratch outside of the piston. Okay. And now, the final drill. And this is piston drill P, 0.323. So 323 hundredths of an inch, I guess you'd say. Yeah, a little bit of crap in there. See how much I can get out on my hand. Wasn't too bad. Well, there's 1 or 2 flakes, but it pretty much fell off. So it wasn't too dirty at all. But these I consider essential items that you should have in your repertoire. Oh, and what I should have done if it had got stuck. This wrench has this other little hole right here, and you insert it in there. Then you take your drill, any of them, to use to clean it out. But remember, the outside you clean it with solvent and a brush. That is it. Nothing that'll scratch it. Nothing that will scratch it. Okie dokie. All right, so we got that done. So our gas system is as clean as we need it, and you install it dry. Let's see. Nope, it's not correct. Lock the bolt back. And the reason I know that is because it didn't fall all the way in there. Oh, and by the way, this is your cylinder lock right here, and it's a little loose right there. It needs to be shimmed. You see how I can go another half a turn with it, or a quarter turn? It shouldn't be that way. So actually the gas system needs to be shimmed up. Let's make sure it's aligned. Tilt it forward, get the piston out, and the hole up, not down, Matt. So that would mean the flat would be up. Boom, and it fell all the way in there, just like it's supposed to. Now let me release the, okay, I saw it come back up and fall back down. That's good, we'll leave it right there. All you have to do is open and close the bolt, and you can watch the piston go down and come back up if it is correctly positioned. And this, the nipple of it, right here on the end without threads, goes down and catches the gas cylinder, and the threaded part screws in. I think, yeah. No, it doesn't. It screws into the actual gas cylinder. It does not screw into the lock. It's smooth right there in that section. But let's put it on back in there. Like I said, closed in 3/8 inch wrench, thin profile would be better than a GI tool on this particular rifle, because I did scuff it just a touch. That's fine me. You think I'm gonna stress over a little scuff mark, you are wrong. This is a fighting rifle, and that's the reason I went through all the damn trouble of locating and purchasing that GI butt plate. Okay, now the friendly neighborhood mail lady came and brought Kimmo some fish antibiotics, I think that's what that was. Back to the video. Okay, so we covered the drill P, which is for the piston. And if you have a big drill index, you can actually find one that says P, but having a handle on it is more better. See, that's the piston for the inside of the actual piston head, and then this is the for the shank, the rod part of it, and this is drill P number 15.180, little skinny booger. And finally, we also covered the gas cylinder and plug drill O, 0.316 of an inch, 316th of an inch. Now, the final tool I would recommend, snap caps. A-Zoom brand is what I use, but whatever cranks your tractor, it does not matter. This is a good way to safely test your firearms and practice dry fire and so forth indoors, reloading drills and so forth, especially with a handgun in which you're doing one-handed manipulations and you're using your knees or the side of your belt or whatever to chamber around out of the magazine one-handed, where you're not working it like this, but off your belt, your shoe, your knees, whatever the case may be, to ensure you're racking that slide far enough to ensure a round goes into the damn chamber, right? It's a safe way to do it without shooting yourself in the damn leg or whatever the case may be. And no, don't be making fun of Tex Grabner when he accidentally shot himself in the leg. We've already covered that in another video, but real quick word. Two different types of pistols, two completely different operating systems, a Glock and a 1911. Thumb release holster on one, the Glock, a Serpa holster like the one I have, which is trigger finger release. That's the reason all my guns are the same, all of them. Okay, they all work the same way, including Kimmo's M&P has a thumb safety. That way I don't mess up. I want to train with the exact same platform every time for my personal carry and combat carry, so that there's not a mistake made like that. All it was is he had thumb release holster on earlier. He released what he thought was the thumb, went to pull it out, it wouldn't come out. He realized, wait a minute, this is the Serpa. By this time, what he had released was the thumb safety on the 1911. He should have stopped. He pressed back down and allowed that finger to go from this to that. He pulled out, his finger hit that single stage trigger and shot himself. That's one of the bravest videos I've ever seen anyone put up, because he knew ahead of time he was going to be ridiculed and dogged out. I'm not going to do that. I think the man was brave as hell for doing that, and it shows. That was a training hole, a training scar. Okay, we all have them, but this can help a lot, a lot. So, a quick review. GI multi-tool, absolutely essential for M1A, M14, or the Garand rifle. The chamber brush, the ratcheting chamber brush, is designed for that rifle. Goes in the buttstock inside that. Okay? The multi-tool screwdriver, the part that takes the wrench that takes the plug out, as well as the handle for the cleaning rod, the GI all steel cleaning rod. Any section of the cleaning rod can also be used to screw into this and ratchet it around so it can really clean the interior of that chamber. Your 3 drills to clean out the carbon of your gas system, and of course the snap cap. And I almost forgot the wonderful Sidelak M14 tool. This is the gas cylinder wrench M14 US rifle. Now check it out. Yes, it's a toy also. But anywho, this is Mac Daddy 1911A1 with the Shade Tree Survivalist. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Any questions on the M14? If I can't answer them, check out Tony Ben 3, Tony Tony Ben Ben 3, the number 3, and it's capital Tony, capital Ben, and number 3. Y'all check it out, and there is a link on my main channel page for Tony Ben's channel, and I highly recommend his channel. He is one of the most authoritative people on the internet about the M1A M14 system. Thank you very much for watching. Y'all wait, just hang around a little bit. I got another couple of videos on M14 M1As coming up very quickly.